Okay, looks like it's just you and I, but I had 3 Gmail tips that I was going to cover. So I'm going to share my screen and get started. Okay, so the first one was that you can edit a Word document from the email. So if you receive an email that has a Word document attached to it, all you have to do is click this pencil. And it will open that document in Google Docs, and then you can edit it. So if you receive an attachment, anything, and you need to edit it, this is how you would do it. You can skip the downloading, uploading, all of that stuff, and you can go ahead and edit this for whatever you need. This document I obviously wouldn't be editing, but I just had this to send myself quickly. Same thing if it was an Excel file, you can click edit and it will automatically open it up into Google Sheets, which is Google's version of Excel. Do you have any questions about that? No? Okay.
No.
That one's really straightforward, but just a lot of people don't realize it. I see people downloading it and uploading it back into Google Docs. Whereas if you just hit the pencil, it takes you right in. The next one I wanted to show you was scheduling emails. So I schedule a ton of emails. I send so many reminders for you guys, like every day, the day before trainings, I send reminder emails. So I actually sit down once a month and write all of them out and schedule them. So I would just type my email, whatever I want it to be. Instead of clicking send, I just click this down arrow right here and click schedule send. Oops, I have to put in a recipient. I'll just put this to myself. So schedule send, and I can choose when I want it sent. So it does give you some defaults, but usually I just click pick date and time and choose what date I want it sent on, and then the time. It usually defaults from an hour from now. Not sure why, but I typically send mine in the morning, so I would change this to like 10:04 a.m. or something like that. That way, if you know that there's an email you have to send on a certain day, you can just sit down and do it while you're thinking about it instead of remembering to do it when you actually need to send it. It honestly saves my life all the time. Any questions about that one? Again, it's really, really straightforward. Just a lot of people don't realize that you can do it.
No.
Okay. All right. And then the last one, it's going to be a really short training. The last one I was going to cover was email templates. So if there's a certain email that you're going to send often, maybe it's after you have a listing appointment, you always send the same follow-up email. Here's a summary of what our meeting was about. Here's the documents we discussed, blah, 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 whatever it is you're going to send. You can create it as a template. So every time you sit down to send that email, you just click on the template and it's all typed out for you. You don't have to retype it every time. You don't have to find one you sent before and copy and paste it. So to set that up, you first have to go into your settings and then go to advanced. And then there's a templates section. You just have to switch it to enable. Make sure you hit save changes at the bottom. And then you just compose your email. So type it out, whatever it is you would say, just don't put in a recipient. So put in your subject and type out all of your email, whatever you want to say. Make sure you remove your email signature, or else when you actually send the email, the signature will be there twice. So just remove it when you're creating the template. Once you have it all typed out, you just click on these 3 dots right here and go to templates. And this one you would say save draft as template. Sorry, I just gotta move the video. And then save as new template. It defaults to the template name being the email subject, so you could change that to anything you wanted. Maybe whether it's a listing appointment or a buyer appointment, the subject line is still going to be follow-up. So you might change this to like listing appointment follow-up. So you know what it is you're looking for, right? So now that I've saved that, a week later, when I actually go on a listing appointment, I could click compose, click right here, go to templates and listing appointment follow-up, and there it is. So I don't have to type that email out every time. The biggest flaw I find with it is you can't add attachments to the templates. So if there's something you're repeatedly attaching, you have to remember to attach it every time you send it. What was that, Dawn? Sorry. Did you have a question?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it's
You're
easy.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys can use that for anything at all. I'm always sending the same emails over and over again. Every time we have a new agent, when they first join, I have a welcome to KW email, and it says, here's your login information. Here's how you book a time with me. Here's information on cards and signs. So I just have a template. And then after I have my meeting with them, I have a follow-up email that I send every time saying, here's the links that we talked about, blah, blah, blah. And I just send that. And honestly, it saves so much time from having to type it out every single time. That is all I had for you. That was a 7-minute training. Anybody have any questions about, even if it's not about what I just talked about? And I can't hear you if you're talking.
Sorry.
Oh.
Andrea said to ask you a question, but it had nothing to do with this.
Oh.
We'll ask you after.
Okay.
Sorry.
I see a chat here. Oh yeah, Lynette, I covered that one before you joined. So in Gmail, can you prepare an email and send later? So that was scheduling emails. So you can sit down, type out your email. You have to put in a recipient and then click this down button and schedule send and choose what date and time it sends. Let me do that again because I got click happy. Schedule send. And then, yeah, it gives you some options, or you can click pick date and time and choose a date and the time that it sends. I use that all the time.
Do you have a limit on how many you can send?
I don't think so. My
Okay.
scheduled some months is like 40 some.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you have a section over here of your scheduled messages. So here's everything I have scheduled to go out right now. So I can come in and delete it if I need to or something like that.
Perfect.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
If I need to delete email from one recipient, as an example, if I need to remove all the email from one recipient, can I do it once? Or?
I don't know. Not that I know of off the top of my head. Well, I mean, you can search for someone. So you can search, I don't know. I'll search you, Dawn. So if I search your email address, it's going to show me every email that has you somewhat in it. And then I can pick everyone that has you as a recipient. I can delete them.
Oh.
But like this one, I sent someone our phone list, which you were in the phone list. So it wasn't actually to you. So you have to pay attention.
Thanks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions about my super short Gmail training? I can go through Gmail apps, or Google apps, I should say, if anyone is interested. So if you click this button, it will show you all of the Google apps. So Docs, Sheets, and Slides are similar to Microsoft Office. So Docs is like Microsoft Word, Sheets is like Excel, and Slides is like PowerPoint. So you can, if you don't have those things, because it does cost money to buy the subscription, you can just use these instead. They're just as good. I use these. I don't have Microsoft at all. And then Drive is similar to Dropbox. So it's just online storage where you can keep everything in here. I saw a question on our Facebook group asking how to send a large video, and most people were saying Google Drive. So literally you just drop it in here, whatever it is, and then you can easily send it. So I have a ton of videos in here, like all these Zoom videos. Then you can just right click on them. Get link. And you can copy the link and send it to people. Just make sure you change the access level. So I always just change it to anyone who has the link. Like no one's gonna stumble upon this crazy link and stumble upon my video, right? So if you have the link, then you're meant to have the link and you can watch it. But so it's a great way to send large files. Even if you guys ever try to attach a file that's really big, you'll see a lot of times Gmail's just like, this is too big. I'm going to put it in Drive and send it that way for you. It's just doing the exact same thing as this. Also in apps, we have the calendar, of course, which is great because you can have separate calendars. So you can see like here, I always have the training calendar and my calendar so I can see what's going on in the day, but I have other calendars, like I can see the broker duty calendar, which I don't normally want to see, but every Monday when I come in to send you guys the messages of who's on duty, I come in and just do this so I can see who's on duty when, but then I uncheck it because normally I don't want to see it. So it's great because you can have different calendars based on what you're trying to see. I was talking to an agent this morning who just hired an assistant. And so she wants a calendar that is key dates based on their deals. Just like deposit for 123 Main Street is due today. 456 Main Street closes this day, whatever it might be. So they're making a separate calendar so you don't see it when you're just looking at your calendar to see what you're doing that day, right? But you can go in and look at that calendar and quickly see really important dates for your deals. Google Meet is essentially the same thing as Zoom. I haven't used it very often. I don't know if it's better or worse. I have used it a handful of times. It hasn't really taken off. You never really hear of people using it, but it is there. I don't know what everything else is, but those are the main ones. Google Forms is good. You'll see a lot of people use Google Forms for some sort of survey. You can ask questions and then it takes the data and like puts it to you nicely. But yeah, all those apps are helpful. I use so many of these. Google My Business too. Actually, I was just talking about this the other day. Everyone should have a Google My Business account. You know, when you Google something, and then over on the right, this is here, the summary. That's Google My Business. If you want this to exist when someone Googles you, you have to create a Google My Business account. It's free. I don't know why people don't have it. It just, yeah, tells you everything. Once a week, I get an email from Google saying, this is how many people called you from Google My Business. So like they Google and then they click on the phone number to call the office, or they click on the address and the maps on their phone directs them to there, right? People can also leave reviews. But yeah, everybody should have that set up. Like if you Google Alex, it pops up for him too. right? Just has the office address, but his phone number. A lot of our agents has that. I just knew Alex's would work. That's why I showed you that one. But yeah,
If you're
Google-
on a team and you have reviews, can you put those reviews on your business?
no, it shows the users. So if you copied and pasted them, it's gonna look like you're just sending yourself reviews,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
people won't trust you.
Yeah.
So you have to ask your really good clients, you're like, okay, you're gonna leave a review on my Facebook page and you're gonna leave a review here. They can be the same, you can copy and paste them, but you have to do both.
Perfect.
Well, that's the end of my Google training, unless anyone has any questions. Very, very short, but mostly just like things you didn't know that you could do. Anne and Andrea, I think I know what your question is. So I'm going to stop recording so I can post just that part of the training on YouTube.